Look at my all the little. Hello. Oh, There we go. I'm sure it's on here, but it may not be. I don't know. Twitch has this whole thing about not letting you dual stream. Anyways, it's a very Amazon practice in that it's near illegal and is anti-worker. There we go. And you are hearing double things. My apologies. Nobody shows up but me. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Possibly we can do one more thing. I'm having a good time. I'm gonna chat people's heads off and draw over at YouTube. Possibly presenting too. It's a little bit too confusing. Hi, new listener. Oh, goodbye, new listener. Hello, new listener. Welcome. I hope you are having a wonderful day, or if you just want to hang out, sit back and chat, feel free to. Just listen to me ramble on about random stuff. So let's see I guess I should introduce myself a little bit. I'm a writer, not a famous one, or even a particularly successful one, but in my head, I think of myself as a writer, and I like. And we lost our one listener. We lost our hero. The strange world we find of ourselves. Is both disquieting and discomforting. Let's see. Let's see, what could I talk about? Books, writing, literature, Batman. Anybody watching Only Murderers in the Building? Only Murders in the Building. That's what it's called. It's a whole joke because they only solve murders that happen in their building. And there's always murder. Man, I just love that Steve Martin is doing cool stuff again. Big fan of Steve Martin. I spent a few weeks really going through his old comedy acts and stuff. And that stuff holds up surprisingly well. Better than a lot of stuff in that whole space. The things that his contemporaries. I'm like, and his stuff was always more not gentle, but absurdist more, and over the top and over the talk. I've been saying. It's been weird lately. I've been saying weird, speaking weirdly today. I don't know why. And so it's so obvious. It's more modern than his stuff, and I like his old movies with Carl Reiner. That Carl Reiner directed, and I was like, those cans. He really hates those cans. It's great. It's great. It's great, and everybody should. Everybody should do it. Let's see. I'm guessing this is a lot like Reddit. I was also going to try and stream on Reddit today, but their installation process for the Reddit OBS thing is so annoying. I guess I could just. But that one. Where would I have my reference? Right, I have have my laptop. I can stream on Reddit if I want to. Okay, we'll do that. Oh, but can I do that? Let's see. Well, I don't know if I can. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just stick here. I always do like an old, like, Hollywood diva voice when I'm like nervous and I'm not sure exactly what to say. Maybe Mr. Carter, we'll just stick here and just hang out. I'd like that immensely. I wonder if I would get in trouble. No. Lo-Fi Girl is okay. Even though I've gotten occasional. Probably need some music. There we go. I'll remember. Oh, I should. On the YouTube side of things. Nobody's gonna show up here, are they? Maybe they will. Not say that I'm live right now. Is it? Sometimes this YouTube streaming stuff is really annoying. So I have a podcast. It's called Real Human Contact, and can people not hear me? Did I? Oh boy, I don't know. Did I lose the one person who stopped in here because my volume was too low? Well, it's just me in here. I don't think anybody's gonna bother to show up. No, on Twitch, Mondays are actually usually an okay day. But I'm trying to, like, expand a little bit, you know, it's the thing. I don't know. I feel getting, like, too hooked into one platform is a thing. I should probably. This is usually I kind of figured somebody would just pop in here eventually, and made myself some coffee. I've actually been getting into coffee lately, like a fucking hipster, but there we go. I said it again. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Yeah. I am still new to this. I'm still new to this platform of Podbean. I am not aware of totally how to use it yet. And it's just me. It's just me here. Nobody else. I have a podcast. I don't know. We put out a second episode just recently after like a month after the first episode. I'm not that proud of this. I am proud of the second episode. I like a lot of it, but I don't know. It's just the editing. I was watching... who is it? Super Eye Patch Wolf's video. And I was trying to edit that thing, and errors kept happening. And if you haven't watched the new Super Eye Patch Wolf's video, it's about YouTube classes, those awful like influencer classes, and why they're all like hacks essentially. And watching that and watching like the struggles of like people to like make it in online spaces. And I hate the word like influencer, even though I guess that's what I'm trying to become, but I don't, I consider myself more of an entertainer, like I wanted to be a comedian or a writer or something, but truth be told, okay, this is writing. I believe in the modern space, you need to be able to navigate like newer technology. So, I'm making an effort at all that stuff. And the streaming I get, because essentially, it's just me hanging out, doing stuff. Like, I get that. And I have TikTok and stuff, which I'm doing okay on. I do a lot of, like, writing-related stuff on that TikTok. I should probably... But, I don't know. Just, like, I don't have, like, I don't have... It's just weird where it's just, like, I grew up, I'm older, I think, than a lot of people on the platform. I'm not that old, I'm 30 years old. I just turned 30, it's still kind of weird to me. And I'm older than a lot of people on the platform. And, like, I didn't really grow up, like, YouTube was a thing for me when I was 16 and stuff. But I didn't really grow up with YouTube, so, it's like, the way people talk about certain YouTubers now, it's like, or social, it's like I'm not like interested in like say you want to walk where giants have walked. I'm like, nah, that's not really what I want to do. I wanted to be like just a professional filmmaker and writer and stuff, but I guess people don't know about my thoughts on that. I moved to LA and I got kind of disgusted with it. Not the people or really the industry. I never really made it that far past the industry. See, the thing about the industry is it's pay to play pretty much. Like you have to do all these things where it's like you have to pay to do this, you have to pay to do that. Like, I have a friend who is so trapped in, like, debt, or what have you. Not debt, maybe debt, I don't know. But she's just trapped in this, like, awful cycle of, like, having to pay for different classes, newer classes. And it's always something new. It's always a new consultant. Like, she literally told me she was getting corpse headshots done, like, so that she could accurately play a beautiful body on like CSI and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? I was so shocked when I heard that idea. Because that's a straight line, like, there's a whole thing where, like, certain shows kind of fetishize dead girls. I love that Nick Kroll sketch where it's like, Dead Girl Valley. On the Kroll show. And I love that because it's like, yeah, that's, shows do that a lot where it's just like, this beautiful dead girl came in and she's beautiful, but now she's dead. And it's like, okay. Great, just great. It's not creepy at all. And that's lately been my thought process. I don't know. Anyways, and then there's like, oh, she was going to see a headshot consultant. And I'm like, fucking headshot consultant, really? Really? It's just never ending, like the amount of stuff they can get you to pay for. And I realized that's it. That's the way I don't know. So I was like, can I, like, is it possible to go into independent in this? Is it possible to, like, in some way, like, be in charge of things, yourself? And so that's what I'm doing, I guess. I'm trying to create platforms for myself that don't rely on gatekeepers, which is, like, the worst fucking, like, awful thing you can say. Because, there's just scam artists after scam artists where it's just like, well, I don't rely on the traditional gatekeepers. And it's just like, we don't rely on traditional gatekeepers, and then they, like, steal your money. No shit, because the traditional gatekeepers also steal your money, so. But it's like, I've seen so many people go like, we break away from the traditional gatekeepers, so you should pay us $800 to learn how to get away from the traditional gatekeepers. And I'm like, oh. So, yes, those influencer classes are kind of stupid. And the thing was and I really like what Super Eye Patch Wolf said, what he was talking about was, nobody can really teach you, because people get famous through the stuff, like, why they get famous like, the methods they got famous for can change so quickly, and it's like, what are you even doing then? Like, what are you even, like, participating in? Like, how can you, like, accurately say that when, like, the situations that got you to where you are, like, Ninja, the idiot, blue-haired idiot, the blue-haired, who says racial slurs when he loses games. I don't know if he does, but if he doesn't, I'm sorry for, like, spreading that. But I heard somebody said that's one of the controversies around him. I shouldn't repeat half-heard things. That's bad on me. But, like all young, successful people, I resent them. But, thing about Ninja, he had this, this thing, Ninja had a class on how to be successful. And, like, I'm just quoting Super Eye Patch Wolf here, but, he was like, I'll teach you how I did it. And Super Eye Patch Wolf was like, no. Like, Ninja was a professional gamer by the time he was, like, 16. And then he started playing Fortnite just as it exploded. And that's how he got successful. It was this right confluence of events that got him to where he was, He happened to jump, he's good at video games, and he happened to jump on video game trends, on a trendy video game right before it really exploded, So, he was in the perfect kind of spot to be good at it. I like that, like, whole thing. I'm just going to keep quoting that video. It was a pretty depressing night last night because I was trying to upload an episode of the podcast I made. And it kept failing to upload, and everything kept screwing up, and I was watching that video where I was uploading it. And I have to say, pretty depressing night. But, because then he kind of talked about, like, the struggles and how emotional and unfulfillment and like, and I'm feeling it really right now. Like you're never really gonna make it. Like I get like 7 people a lot. I can get 7 people in my Twitch room, and that's not a lot. But from that video, it's like I guess I'm in like the top 5 percentile of all streamers. I'm like, Jesus, Kurt. Christopher, a lovely farmer. I have an aunt who watches my YouTube videos, and I feel bad every time I curse on here because I know she watches them. So, if you want to hear me curse, go on to my Twitch. There, I'll say all the F words and H's words. What is the H word? Hell? Is hell the H word? I guess it. Oh, heck. So what was I saying? Right, so it's like, you can't, like, it's so, it's hard to get it. And the reason that made me really think about, like, why I want to do all this stuff. And I want to do all this stuff. And I think I can, I think I have the right personality to do this stuff. Notice how easily I talk. I've been talking for like half an hour. And, I guess I hate the word influencer. I'm not trying to influence anybody. I'm trying to entertain people, maybe influence them to be slightly better at their jobs. But I guess entertaining is, like, I don't think of myself as an entertainer more than an influencer, but that's me. That's me. And it's just I think I'm good at it. Like you guys are hearing me. I can be kind of short with people. That's a thing I struggle with, is I can like lose my patience with people easily. Second. Well, we're really never gonna get a guy back in here, are we? Yeah, who cares? One second. Anyways, it's a great video. He has 1 million followers. I have 100. I'm psyched that I hit past 100. Like, I was psyched when that happened. Let's see. You know, ironically, like I sometimes feel on Twitch, I'm a little bit like, what am I saying? What am I saying? Anyway, you know, it's funny because I feel like I'm more engaged doing this, you know, where I'm desperately trying to win the whatever audience is here approval, but nobody is here. Nobody. Which is a weird, like, freeing sensation because it means I can just like say what I actually feel. You know, the thing with writing streamers is I like the people. I like the people and I like the audience I have, but you know, it's very frustrating. Like, when people don't really care about what you have to talk about, and it's like, you know, usually it's fine, but it's like my show and stuff. It's like it's my show, and I'm like, and like, people are like, I don't give a shit. You know, and people are like, I don't really give a shit. And I'm like, but come on. Really? You know, like you get a lot of audiences who are great, but they also just... And, you know, you gotta learn to balance this because it's like you get a lot of people who just want to hear themselves talk, and that's, you know, that's great and it's good to be that sort of person, but it kind of sucks when like you want to talk about something and they don't care about it because you spend like a half hour listening to what they have to say, and then you're going like, well, as the person, you know, putting himself out there, I'd like to talk about some things I'm interested in talking about, and they go like, blah, 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 blah. I will keep talking about what I want to. And, you know, it's possible because people are young on there. I don't know. Like, it's hard to, you know, it's kind of hard to tell the ages of people there. I feel like you eventually get the sense of who's young and who's not on Twitch. Like, you kind of just get a sense to figure out who's kids or not, when kids pop up or not. And, you know, like, when kids pop up, I always treat, you know, you treat them a little bit different than you would adults because... I mean, if you meet streamers and like, well, I just treat them like everybody. It's like, what are you, a fucking sociopath? Don't do that. Don't do that. They are children. They are children. They will remember that for the rest of their lives. Honestly, that's like my main thought process whenever a child pops up on a stream. It's like, I go like, they are gonna, you know, like things you can say as a kid, because for sure things that were said to me as a kid like still affect me. Like, I've told the story before, but not on here. I guess I can tell the story. When I was a kid, somebody called me stupid. Like, there was a general belief I was stupid, and it was mostly because I had pretty bad dyslexia, so I had trouble, like, writing things. So I always had trouble, like, with schoolwork. And, you know, and that shit has affected me my whole life. I feel so deeply insecure about my intelligence at all moments of my life. And like one girl was, you know, and, you know, I have a good memory. That's always been a thing about me. I have a really good memory. Not to brag, but that's like one of my few skills. I have like pretty good memory. So I can remember almost anything people say to me. And, you know, so I do good on tests and like answer questions and tests and stuff, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I get so angry and so defensive whenever like my intelligence is questioned, and like whenever I don't know something. And you know, that's like, in the end, that's how you don't gain wisdom through that. You don't gain wisdom through like not being open to that. And I don't know how to fix that. I really don't. And I have this one memory, it's like, where it's like, I can't believe you remember that. I'm like, I can't believe you're smart. You know, you could do stuff like that. I'm like, did you think I was stupid? Like I had this one memory of this one person, and she was nice, but she said something like, she called me, like she said, I can't believe you can remember things. I can't believe you're doing. At the end of the year, we played this like Jeopardy game, and I was good at it because like I'm good at memorizing stuff, and and like this girl comes up to me and says like, I can't believe you are doing good at this game. And I'm like, what the fuck is that supposed to? I was so hurt by that because it's like, did you not think I was good at this? And I guess I guess she was trying to compliment him, but it hurt because it meant that people thought I was dumb. And I knew that was the impression of me. And I was so insecure about that. I was just so insecure about that. Anyway, so that comment and that like attitude kids had with me has perpetuated me dogged me throughout my entire life. And it's whenever I feel insecure, I get real mad and nervous about my intelligence. And that it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And I want to be like the better person. I want to be the fuller person. But people, that, and I do, I've got, talk about all that shit. It's OCD. I have OCD. And OCD, part of, what they don't talk about with OCD, it's like you get these horrible thoughts in your head, and and that's the worst part. That's the worst part, that these horrible thoughts run in your head at all times, and it's hard. It makes it hard. Totally feel like you can live a normal life. Boy, that got depressing, didn't it? Got real depressing. Bum everybody out. People comment occasionally that I like to ruin good moments, and I don't mean to, but it's just like, because I told on the podcast, not to advertise about the podcast, because the episode isn't that great, but yeah, it's good. Okay, it's okay. There's issues, production issues behind the things that I'm not proud of, but what are you gonna do? But the thing about the podcast, I told a pretty fun story about meeting Stanley, and I have met. In fact, I did in fact meet Stanley once for about a second. I have a whole little thing about that, and I believe I think I've told that story a few times. If people were in here, I'd tell it again. But how he told me that how Spider-Man is a real thing, and how to get spider powers and all that wonderful stuff. I've told that story enough. If people were in here and were curious, I could tell it. But I met him for like a second, and I do have an autographed thing from Stanley. Like it's in here right now. I have an autographed comic, not a Spider-Man comic, not a comic you would want to get autographed, like a Spider-Man or a Fantastic Four. No. I have a Stripperella autographed comic. Oh, anyways, but I made a joke where I was like, and that was all great and stuff, but he was probably being elder abused at that moment. I'm like, people were like, why do you have to ruin nice things? And I don't know, guys. I honestly don't know why I have to ruin nice things, but I often have to. It's called being weird. movies. I'm really like. Only Murderers is great if you haven't seen it. Any Hulus? Need to get out of my rut. I'm going on vacation soon. Gonna see family in Canada. Which, no, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also like, yeah, a lot of pressure feeling from that, stemming from that. Mostly because I don't want people to come to me. I don't want to go to people. Also, I'm traveling with my mom to Canada, and I'm not used to traveling with people. I haven't traveled with anybody for over 5 years. It's been just me every time I go someplace. And, I like I'm all, what are you gonna do? Sydney's been here. Oh, I know. Is anybody gonna show up? Yeah. If I can, do they record these? Does Podbean record this? Can I put this up as a podcast episode? One of the weird things about online stuff is like people do not follow you. Like it's very hard to get people to follow you from one platform to the other. Like people who like Twitch, and people who like YouTube, and people who like Reddit. And I don't know. It'd be nice if I could get. It'd be nice. Because am I being a bummer? Am I being a stone cold bummer? Sometimes I feel like I am. What if this was just a podcast, just me ranting about or talking? Maybe a total Bill Burr. Isn't that what his podcast is? I both love and don't love Bill Burr, and I don't know, because I think he's really funny, but I'm also like, he's always so close. I feel like he's always so close to saying something really awful, and you never know where that is gonna be. And I'm like, it stresses me out because I'm like, it always feels like he toes up to the line of like saying something truly awful, like, and he goes like, nah, and then he doesn't. I'm just like, I don't know which is a funny thing. So he's funny. He's a funny guy. I won't lie about that, but I also don't like angry. I used to, angry comedy is like something I got really burnt out with. Overly happy comedy is also something I'm getting burnt out with, but still. I just want comedy to appeal to my exact emotional state at all moments in time. Is that too much to ask? See, it's funny because I put on a voice. which I think sounds vaguely like Daffy Duck, but you know, it could probably be Daffy Duck. Maybe Monday night was a terrible night to do this. We'll go for 2 hours. I'm still new to this. Maybe we could go on Reddit. Add a third. I think this drawing is turning out pretty well, honestly. Pretty happy with it. If you don't know, you're all smart people, I assume you know. I'm just doing a reference practice. This is Mooch. Alphonse Mucha. This is a real famous one of the. This is the song that never ends. So on TikTok, random thought process. Nobody cares about TikTok. Everybody should be suspicious of TikTok, but I've been using it quite a lot lately. I have this friend, and she is one of these super successful, super driven people who inevitably succeeds at everything she does. And she started using TikTok like 2 weeks ago, seriously. And I've been using it for about 2 weeks, seriously, I guess. But she gets 3,000 views on every video she makes, and I get like, I'm lucky if I hit 400. But right now, I'm ahead of her. I have 179 followers. She has 177. I'm like, and she's like successful at everything, and like this is one of the few times I was more successful than her. But she's gonna pass me any day now. She might even pass me tonight if she puts something new out. I'm like I was so close to getting past her. I was this close. This close. 1 second. Wow, nobody's here, so I can just do what I want. There it goes. Oh, is it something I'm streaming on another platform? Oh, cheeky. Very cheeky. I was gonna try and dual stream on Twitch. I guess it won't let me do that if the webcam is being used in another area. Very, very cheeky. Now the question is, how does this head work? Because me looking at it right now, because you know, people don't know the head is connected to. You know, if I just make the hair bigger, that's all that needs to matter. Looks pretty good. What if I started reacting to K-pop stuff? In that super eye patchful thing, there's this kid who got really high. Actually, you know, his whole story is unique, so you know, probably don't want to end up in his situation. You know, it's really funny that. Man, nostalgia ain't how it used to be. Who's this fucker? For some reason, YouTube, anytime I watch like a game related video, YouTube will then send me like 43 like super like put me in a bunch of alt-right places. Like you like video games, so you must also not like, you must also be obsessed with the purity of the white race, right? That's your deal. And like, no, that's not my deal, YouTube. Not really my deal. ABC7 show, you're missing out, buddy. You have missed out. Should we draw next? Nobody's here, but I'm gonna pretend like people are. Hello, 7,000 people. You know, you try and do things where it's like, you know, not as many people are on. You know, try and like pick smaller platforms to do things. And it's just like, well, there's a reason why there's smaller platforms sometimes. I don't know. Twitch people don't like YouTube, I guess. Or maybe I'm just doing this too early. I always feel like people who like my stuff also have a tendency to stay up super late. Like that's their modus operandi. People who see the sun regularly are not people who enjoy my stuff. If I could just give if I could say something to YouTube about things I want to see. I don't want to see middle-aged men in like graphic tees describing why an animated movie is too woke. Like, don't show me that. I don't want that in my life. In fact, truth be told, I'm so sick of like all we talk about is like, you know, like animated movies and superhero movies. It would be kind of fun to talk about something else. And there's somebody in here. Oh, and I scared him off. Damn. No, we can talk about animated movies and superhero movies. We can talk about that. Do you want to know? I scare so many people off. It's not that. It's just, it feels like I love animation. Animation is one of my favorite things in the world, but it feels like all animation discussion is like centered around like 3 things, and it's very, very, very annoying. And I kind of wish it was centered around other things. Like it's like Disney movie, Pixar movie. I know they're the same thing, but also like Disney, Pixar, bad animated ripoff of both, and why your favorite animated show is bad now and they ruined your childhood. And that's like the only 3 topics, and it's like, you know, I wish we had like a bolder, like we could talk about others, and anime, and I like anime. Like, don't get me wrong, I love anime, but it's also, I think I've been getting nervous about lately with animation is how anime is quickly coming to be the default way people want to animate. Like, that's the default like look and style, and I'm getting really nervous about that. Truth be told, like, it feels like we have decided that like anime will be the default style, and it's like, I don't know. I saw this Russian trailer for this Russian movie, and if you didn't tell me it was Russian, I would have assumed it was an anime. And I'm like, you know, I guess, you know, with Russia doing evil, awful things in the Ukraine right now, it's hard to remember at some point, you know, like Russia, but Russia does have like some really amazing looking animation that I've seen, particularly stop motion animation. It seems to be a thing that a lot of Russian people, like Russian animators, were particularly good at. And like, I would be very depressed. If like, you're on YouTube, you just saw me get up. Oh, I'm seeing my underwear. Shock somewhere in my underwear. I would be very depressed if like cultural specifics in like animation like kind of died, and we have one default style, and that is it, and it is Japanese anime inspired, and that is the only thing that matters. And I'm like, you know, I don't like people who want America to make like anime style things, I guess, but I don't know. I'd rather Americans like make more, like take, you know, I don't want anime to be the only thing, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, I don't want anime to be Did this get fucking out of focus? I don't want... Oh, you son of a bitch. I turned autofocus off. Why is it back on? Like, I don't want... Does that, I don't know, does that mean, like, I don't want culturally, I don't want there's an obsession with, in some regards, turning everything into like a monoculture. And I would rather have distinctness in things, art, because I think that's what's beautiful. And like, you know, you can't stop inspiration from traveling, you know, and you know, like you can't stop people from being inspired. And I don't begrudge anybody who's like, oh, well, I'm inspired by this and stuff. I'm like, no, that's fair. But like, don't. I don't know. I don't know how to word this without being like an asshole to at least somebody. Because I don't want. There's things that have been anime inspired that I've liked that Westerners have made, and I don't think it's necessarily wrong. But I'm also like, and like then there's a whole question of cultural appropriation and stuff like that. And I'm gonna be honest. We're never gonna figure that out. We're never gonna figure that out. We are never gonna figure out where the line is on that. And, you know, and I don't know what we do. Like, it's like, I don't know. Oh, God, why did I even start that conversation? Why did I even bring that up? But it's like, just on a level, like, it's depressing when, like, uniqueness of things disappears, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm like, and I get following other like successful things, but like, okay, if we want to get into this or like say my thought process on some of this stuff, oh boy, do I really want to go up against that calf right there? Like, be mean to that sort of, that obsessive of a fan base? Well, there's a thing called... Yeah. Note that I hold somewhat of a controversial opinion about a very popular thing, and you will never know what it is. You will never know what it is. Or what impact it would have had on the world if I had said it. No, I don't know. But it's just like, I'm worried of homogenization of art. I'm worried that where we're going is everything will just be like a general mishmash of stuff. And I don't know how to deal with that. And like, obviously I have no real control over that. I guess, and like what frustrates me with animated talk, and the guy who was briefly in here for a second and then immediately left. I guess I shouldn't call people out like that. Is that it's the same thing. It's just the same thing like over and over again. And it's the same tropes and it's the same discussion points. And it's hard to find, like, I like finding new, I don't know. I like finding new stuff, and it's hard to find new stuff. Because everybody just has reactions to the popular things. And I'm like, well, what's the point of that? In some ways, what is the point of that? I still feel on some level, you know, I think critics should be a little bit, like, I often compare, like, critics to, like, tour guides, or, like, safari guides, or, no, that's maybe not a term I should use, but, like film, or comics, or movies, or animated shows are a vast swath of things, and it's impossible for you as a new person to really know where they are. So, you know, how I got into stuff is I started reading, like, critical reviews of obscure movies, I started reading the AV Club, and like they would have all these like reviews of movies, like obscure movies that like you may not have heard about, and I'm like, okay, I'll go see that. And what frustrates me is, you know, AV Club is a total shell of itself now. And I still every once in a while check back. I'm like, I used to check that thing every day. I would read the comments all the time, and like it's a total shell now. And the thing about it is, like, they stopped really covering smaller, you know, they still do, but not really, you know, like they're looking to cover buzzy things now. That's their real hope. And speaking of the AV Club, you know, when they moved to Chicago, and then they did that fucking union busting thing where, like, they moved from Chicago to Los Angeles, and, like, the whole point was to fire people without breaking their contracts. And I'm like, of course, the two most irritating writers stayed on. Like, yeah, no. Of their, you know who you are and what you did. You freaking scabs. I won't say other names because the sheer power of my presence would, of course, you know, but anyways, I loved the AV Club. I really did. It was my favorite place. And I just can't find that anymore. You know, I can't find a very film-focused website anymore. It's all general pop culture stuff. And it's like, they all cover the same movies and TV shows, and they all say roughly the same thing. And there's just, like, no variety anymore. And it's depressing there's no variety anymore. It's depressing that there's no, like... Because in the end, I read this stuff to learn new things to watch, and you don't learn new things to watch. Like, I found my favorite, you know, I can already tell that's a little lopsided. I found several of my favorite movies through there, and I'm like, what is left? What is left for a society? And, you know, that's a minor thing, but it's symptomatic of a major problem where it's like, you know, it's of where, like, people, you know, you know, you talk about, like, you know, they're talking about, like, stuff like the metaverse and things. And I have a freaking VR headset. I love that VR headset. It is fun to play. I like VR games. But I also am aware that it's like, yeah, this is like Zuckerberg's plot to, like, all of reality to be under his control. Like, jeez. Jeez Louise! Mr. Zuckerberg! Sure! We'll say you're cool again. Please don't have us murdered in your minds. Yes, you get to control all of reality. That's what you get to do, Mr. Zuckerberg. And you'll finally get to look into people. You finally will get to look at people poop. Look it up. That's the real thing that Zuckerberg would do at Facebook. Please, Mr. Zuckerberg. What voice am I doing? Please, Mr. Zuckerberg, tell us all your stories. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I really like the movie Triple X. In fact, I bought the code from Triple X and gave it to my friend while I was developing Facebook. when I got really rich off of the Facebook. Wow, Mr. Zuckerberg, that's super. Yeah, I think it's pretty neat. Because the Facebook, Mr. Zuckerberg. People not being here for my fucking awesome impressions. Oh. You know, you're just, you know, you're just missing out. You're just Mr. Zuckerberg, when will this all end? And the fact, you know what, fuck it, let's talk about Zuckerberg. You know, it's galling that Zuckerberg, who promotes anti-Semitic, like, rhetoric on his website, like, well, you would think, like, I'm sure, you know, he's like, oh, I'm a humanist. You know, it's cool, Zuck, that you're working very hard to, your website, you know, you're working very hard to ensure genocides can happen more efficiently and productively. As long as they're using our products to commit it, I think it's as long, no, wait, I can do it. I think it's pretty darn. People always focus on the negatives, where I like to think, wow, our products have made mass organization of slaughter efficient and consumer friendly, and I think that's pretty great. It shows us how interconnected we are. Because I'm Mark Zuckerberg. And this is probably what I'll actually sound. Also, NFTs are really important, and I like that idea. So, you know, obviously the second he said he liked that idea, you know, it's like, oh yeah, this is like the fucking worst idea in the world. Come at me, crypto. No, I don't care. I'm not on Twitter anymore. Yeah, quit that bullshit. I'm not happy that cryptocurrency is doing really bad. I'm not happy because I don't like that people are suffering, but it's what I'm really not happy about is that people who willfully led people who willfully like destroyed people's lives and led them into like poverty will probably profit off this immensely. Because our government is slow and has not fucking stepped in to regulate all this fucking bullshit yet. And because people are bad with their money. I mean, oh, great. With money, but I think I have a decent sense about it. Well, call it here. Yeah. I know nobody came to see this, but it was fun. Sometimes you just have to talk to yourself, and maybe this can be an episode of the podcast. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But goodbye, Podbean.